welcome back to the Black Multiverse Theory podcast.
Welcome to the Black Multiverse Theory podcast, where hosts Nigel and Nilo explore current events through an Afro-Canadian lens. In shout-outs, we catch up with the community, creating a space for connection. The scroll dives into social media, current events, and celebrity news. Always actual, not always factual. Babes, don't get your news from here. Don't do it. Okay. On the screen shares our latest watch list, while in our ears explores the current events shaping our world. The podcast culminates with an uplifting message, hoping to leave you inspired and empowered. Thanks for tuning in for insightful analysis and vibrant perspective on the Black experience in today's world.
Yo, listen.
Hold on, let me get my applause.
Real slow.
Thank you, everyone.
You're slow with that applause. Now, listen, you said hoping to leave people empowered and inspired. And I thought about that the other day because a lot of people started podcasting after we started podcasting. We've been on here 351 episodes in 2019. We started with a desk and two cellular phones. Correct. Going live at the same time. Right. And now we are here right now. I think I'm going to try and put a link out for my mama because she was having trouble last time getting on.
Well, as you can see, we have a new member of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. We haven't figured out what his name is yet, or her name. Could be a girl astronaut as well. We haven't figured out what her name is, but she's over here projecting onto the wall.
Yeah, he is.
At the end, I will have them turn around so you can see this little robot gadget we have. I wanted to make it more multiversey, you know. This is a TikTok whatchamacallit by. You know when those things on TikTok that's like have stars and galaxies in your room. I was like, oh, I need this for the multiverse.
You're like, bet. Say less.
Say
stars and galaxies.
And now we have it. Now our Black Multiverse changes nebulas, which I enjoy.
Changes nebulas.
Yeah, because the girls on their podcast, they be having like LED lights and stuff and all kinds of stuff. Wow, look at this.
I don't follow fashion. Well, so how
we have.
What?
Just her stretched out like a lion.
Well, she wants to lie down. So, yeah, we have a lot to talk about today as we go through shout-outs to my mama, who should be coming on here. Shout out to Colin. Colin's out here gracing us with his presence, which is fantastic.
What's happening?
On my area here. Mm-hmm. And to all the people who have supported us throughout the seasons. You've seen us at the best times, at the worst times. Mm-hmm. Last week I was sick. The week before that I was exhausted doing Black History Month things. And Black History Month, let's talk about this just real quickly. For those of you who know anything about me, you'll know that my day job is plumbing, and you'll also know that Black History Month is also, I'm the PR representative for the National Black Coalition of Canada. I'm also an executive director for the Kiskadee Society, which is a STEAM society for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Mm-hmm. Also, you notice that I also sing and perform during Black History Month and different things. I've also added to the acknowledgement, the treaty land acknowledgement, an ancestral acknowledgement that acknowledges our ancestors through the transatlantic slave. So whenever I say it, the land acknowledgement, I also add this ancestral acknowledgement for those people as well who came across, and to people who died coming. So a lot of that makes us busy, like extremely busy. And so you have to be patient with a guy like me who every week is doing something 3 or 4 days out of the week, plus the weekends are like shot all together. Looks like, there we go. Mama Zita is on and Papa, and she's in. So shout outs to all the people who came out to support, who are supporting me through the new journeys that I'm taking this year and through the previous years, as you saw us come onto the Black Multiverse 2019, and you were rocking with us from day one and have been rocking with us. And then also to see us go onto the radio, to see us come back to podcasting, to see us go into melanistic and all the different things, all the aphrodisiac markets, we lit, and all the things that we put on over the years that were successful, and even some of the things that were not successful, but you were still rocking with us. So shout outs to y'all who are there. Shout out to my children who are amazing. My daughters had their 12th birthday a couple weeks back, and so they were there. Their mom had their birthday last week, and they were supposed to be on the soccer team, and the soccer was supposed to go to provincials, but I'll talk about that in a minute. What are your shout outs today, Nilo?
Big shout out to Uncle Mario. I haven't shouted out Uncle Mario in a long time. Big shout out to the U of A Black Student Association. I'll be on campus on Friday. Curls on campus. And a big shout out to, I think that's it for me.
Wait, what? You're gonna be on campus on when?
On Friday.
On Friday? Which campus?
The U of A.
For Curls on Campus, it's called?
Yeah, I'm doing a presentation to the Black Students Association.
Ooh-wee.
I mean, they're hosting it. I don't think it's just to them. I think they're hosting it. So.
Wow, congratulations. It's fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll see you all on Friday. That's all I have for shout out. Shout out to Sanaya, who probably doesn't watch this, but just in case she does. Oh, shout out to the whole soca community in Edmonton, in Calgary, and surrounding areas. Big shout out to my boy, DJ Gel, who is one of my favorite people on the planet.
Yes.
DJ Gel came into town last weekend for
boss.
Duncan's Soca in the City neon party. So he came in, and a wonderful time was had by all. He had fans drive down from Calgary for this event and drive in for this event. It has been absolutely awesome, wonderful, superb, watching him grow and like actively being a part of it as just actively a fan of his.
Right.
Yeah, he feels like a little bro to me, and I love that people drove down to see him. The party was ram. Shout out to Danielle George and Kiki and Sherelle and Sheral. We missed you, Shayla. Shayla wasn't out this weekend, but I do want to say, Shayla specifically, we missed you.
Yep.
And yeah, Shane, like, I think Shane rolled out of his bed into the fence. He came in like, if this is whack, I am leaving. Like, he had jeans, sneakers, I think a hoodie on, some kind of a zip-up jacket. My man came like he just rolled out of bed. So big shout out to Shane for being about that life. Yeah, I have to say, Edmonton, we definitely needed a fete like this. It was a good party. It was just really wholesome. And I thought the people were going to end the party on time because obviously we sprang ahead this last weekend. and they ended it on time all right. I mean, I ended up leaving quite late. So, yeah, just shout out to everybody who was at that fete, who drove in for that fete. Shout out to DJ Gel. I feel like we did it. That's how I feel about it. I'm so proud of him. He just sent me a thing the other day that was like, don't be afraid to be disliked. And so and so and so. I was like, okay, I'll take it though.
Yep, all right.
He's talking about it's like all about, I'll show it to you when we get off the air. It's all about being a visionary and like, sometimes people aren't gonna like you, and you have to work hard for the people who are there cheering you on. And
buddy, is he not right?
I've had Gel
He's
DJing
right.
all kind of farmland, all kind of middle of nowhere, outside type of thing. So it was good to see him. It was just good to see him just be able to do his best in front of a crowd. I also lastly have to say, and send this to him, amazing set by DJ Sherman Hype. I have to say, I was like so impressed. I said, this is what happens when you study your craft and you practice and you get better at your craft. Like, he was already DJing Kerry West. He was already had the parties and all of that on lock, but his skills were just, it was awesome. And they did a really cool thing where there was like practically no reggae at all, which is really great. And the reggae he did play, he played it over a soca beat, and I was like, yes, I could do this. And the Jamaicans were like, but they stayed. Yeah, so big shout out to them, Shaw Flavor, also everybody. It was a good time.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. I wasn't there, of course, but I've heard about it from many people that it was one of the greatest parties of the year so far. So, you know, for
actually,
those of you who do, that's
so
your thing.
Far. It's been a while since we've got to just dance, you know?
I get that. For those of you, if that's your thing, you know, and you didn't go, you missed out on...
It was a good one, man.
On a wild one. You know,
Well,
Shane probably... Well, she wild is good. Shane got up out of his bed, but he probably did not regret getting out of his bed.
I don't think so. It was a nice time.
So
it was a nice time. I don't imagine his... And Shane, I know Shane heard his songs, because there's a thing, what happened when you're in soca mode and you hear your song, there's like just a thing that happens, and you go closer to the speaker and you just like revel in it. I saw Shane do that a couple times. I think everybody heard their songs.
Okay.
But yeah, shout out to everybody who was at that fete. It was a good dancing time. Ty. Yeah. Also shout out to Ty for the referral as well. I'll have to text her.
Okay.
That's what I got.
All right. Well, that's fantastic. Those shout outs. Going back to my shout out for the Steel Heights Tigers. Steel Heights we're part of a league called the CGSAs.
I don't want to cut you off, but we want to move that into the scroll.
Yeah, we're moving right into the scroll now. Yeah. The scroll, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So the CGSA is the Canadian Grassroots Sports Academy. It was formed because we were all a soccer association, a soccer community that was with Emasa, and Emasa wanted to take our money directly instead of us paying our local community, and then the community paying Emasa for the teams. So we kind of disagree with that. They decided they were going to go for a vote. Then they called the vote without adding our communities to the actual roster. And so they voted without our communities being there. And then our communities were like, well, we want to appeal. And then we got banned from EMSA.
Holy cow.
Yeah, instead. So then we're like, okay, we're going to form our own soccer association. And we had to do a bunch of things to get in to the Alberta Soccer Association as a legitimate association. And that put us into the running where we got our first birthing into provincials, where we were able to compete on a provincial level with the other soccer association, soccer leagues.
Amazing.
And the kids got ready. We took a bunch of kids from all different communities, and we put them on the same team. And I got the honor of being one of the coaches that was chosen to go for the first time on behalf of CGSA to provincials against people like Emasa and Leduc and Red Deer and all these other associations. Mm-hmm. And what ended up happening is Emasa filed a complaint that our referees, 1 week out before, they said that our referees were not ASA trained and banned our teams from being in the provinc's.
Not bad your teams.
So all the kids don't get to play this weekend coming, and that's it. We're out of the provincials for this time around.
I feel like, does EMSA know that this is children's soccer that they're in? Like, do they know that they're dealing with children here?
I've said this to many people. I think they do know this. Like, if you're with EMSA, like the CGSA Soccer Association, first of all, sports association, our fees are a lot less. We don't pay as high as EMSA.
Right.
But for the price that you're paying for EMSA, you really have to ask the question, is your child getting what they need? Mm-hmm. And so my second son is with EMSA. Mm-hmm. He's still with EMSA, and that is Nariah. He's with club team NSU, doing amazing out there and fantastic. But the rest of the children are with CGSA, and they weren't able to play. My oldest son, he aged out, so they didn't have a U17 team for him. Mm-hmm. So he's too old to play on the U15 teams. And then my daughters were not chosen just because of a little bit of a misunderstanding. So they weren't able to play, although they're amazing, fantastic players. So I would have loved to see.
Now nobody's going to be able to play. That's
none of the kids are able to play, and it's very disappointing. They were very disappointed. However, we coached them into winning against the top team in our league. And so that team went undefeated the entire season, and then played this provincial team, and you won. And they were so happy. The children were so happy that they used the skills that they had. They're two boys. They're little, and they depend on each other, right? And they don't move. So their forwards are supposed to be scoring, and they're not. Like, every time they're in front of the net, they pass it instead of just shooting. So when they came off, I called them. I said, "Step in my office," and they looked at me like they were shaking because they're kind of timid. And I said, "Listen, what are you doing out there? Don't you guys want to score? They're like, "Nope." I was like, "No."
They said no.
They said no. I said, "Listen, we gotta win. Listen, I don't care if you don't want to score. I want you to score. Get out there, get in front of the net. As soon as the ball comes, shoot that ball in the goal or pass it to somebody who can." And as soon as they went back out, they did exactly that. The score was like 8-2. It was amazing. They did a great job.
That's so awesome.
So that was my first part of the shout out.
Well, congratulations for that win. But at the same time, that's terribly disappointing. And I feel like EMSA should be aware that this is children that we're talking about. But also, you should tell your kids that's just because they're scared.
They are.
They're scared. Imagine if they got beat by you guys.
We were. The funny thing is, I had this thing in me that I was like, we're gonna do whatever it takes to like place
beat these people
and beat them. And so it got to a point where, they are scared.
They're scared. That's all that's about.
On a little lighter note, my mom has left in the chat. She goes, "Why don't we put in a competition for the Black Multiversers, which we call
The tachyons.
the Tachyons?" Yeah, we to name
Which we haven't for a long time.
to name our new
astronaut.
astronaut.
We can do that. Yep.
My mom put that in there. She thinks that we should name, the people there.
Yeah. As soon as we're finished, I'm going to turn this little person around so you can see their face because they're hard at work right now.
Yep.
But yeah, I just love it. It's just adorable and it's ridiculous, but I love it. I'm so sorry, you guys.
So,
yeah, that is devastating,
Yeah.
especially for children. But at the same time, that's also awesome that the one game they did get to play together, that they won, and they won against undefeated people.
yeah, they really showed
that also for
their
that
worth.
other team that got defeated. I would have hated that. Like, how you have me playing this game that's not even in the season, and beating me when I had a, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway,
They were very upset. That team was up.
I would have been.
Yes.
Okay, just in case there wasn't enough police in Edmonton, just in case EPS was not enough.
Yep.
Just in case the people didn't hear us say defund the police.
Wow.
Just in case the RCMP and the EPS wasn't enough police for you.
Yeah, they brought in Alberta's own one-man police force.
One man? You didn't say that in the beginning. I thought it was going to be state trooper stuff.
No, they literally...
They brought a guy in there to do what?
So right now, what they're doing is they are literally bringing in a new standalone police force.
Oh, right. Not one man standing alone as a police force. Different movie.
It's called RoboCop.
But I'll watch it. All I'm saying is I'll watch it.
RoboCop, great movie.
Propaganda.
But this is not RoboCop.
This is not that.
This is not the one. No.
So now we're gonna have state troopers.
So our state troopers are the RCMP, by the way.
No, those are the feds.
Defense are another group. But I hear you.
Well, RCMP is a federal. I call it the standing army in Canada. It's a federal because every province has RCMP.
Yeah, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yeah, so that's why I call them the feds.
I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. But that's why I feel like they're state troopers because they're in every state, just like state troopers.
Oh, no. So, no. They're the feds because they're federally controlled even though they're in every state. Then they have the state troopers in every state that's controlled by the state. And then you have your city police force, which is where we're coming to now. So we'll have our Edmonton police force.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll have the Alberta police force who's going to get you on your way to Calgary. Because
they go get me.
They're going to get you. Because the RCMP aren't dealing with the guns. So somebody's got to. And so tell us about this Alberta standalone police force, which is outrageous.
Well, this is what they're saying. The Alberta government has unveiled plans to transform its sheriff's office, so the sheriff's department, into a dedicated police force. Now, this police force, alongside the introduction of electronic ankle braces, so they brought the two in together. They're like, we're going to bring this police force, but we're going to also have ankle bracelets for people who are high offenders. Public Safety Minister Mike Ellis emphasized that the new police force would operate independently with civilian oversight. So they're saying that civilians like ourselves are going to be there like...
like me and you.
Like me and you are going to be like, no, go over there, please. They're going to be like, beep, beep, beep.
I love it. When I say I love it, I love it. I love it as though the RCMP didn't go through an independent review that showed that there's all kinds of assaults happening within, all kind of crooked things happening within. And when I say nothing, absolutely. I think it was the CBC was like, oh, beep, 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 beep. Let's write about this. And then that was it, y'all. That was really it.
Nobody did anything. But these guys are going to collaborate with the existing municipal and First Nations police agencies, which I didn't know First Nations had a police agency.
Spoiler alert. They're white men. It's the same. Spoiler alert. Bad boys.
What you gonna do?
Same people, yes. And
as well
hashtag search the landfill.
So they're going to work with them. They're going to work with the RCMP. And while the timeline for establishing the new force is uncertain, because they got to man up,
Thank God.
they got to get billions of dollars to get a tank and a sports car. They got to drive around with an Alberta Chargers.
Berta on the license plate.
Ellis reiterated that the initiative is not aimed to replace anything, but it is
additional. They're like, just so you know, there will not be less police. There will actually be more. And they're getting ready for us.
And just so you know, they defunded the sheriff's office. They took money away from the sheriff's office and put it towards this Alberta police force in the tune of $5 million.
That's not that much.
So they took $5 million and they stressed the importance of holding.
That's not how defunding works, babe. that babe wasn't for you. That babe was for them. For Danielle Smith. I can't wait till I talk to her.
So they're holding offenders accountable and safeguarding. So now, if you commit a crime and they let you out, they're going to put that ankle bracelet on you.
That's also wild. Like, what do you mean?
I don't know.
I'm on probation or I'm just out here.
The funniest thing, I'm so sorry, but the funniest thing is I already thought we had this in place. Maybe because I lived in Miami and Fort Lauderdale for a long time. I thought that Alberta was already doing this thing on the ankle bracelet.
But ankle bracelets are if you're on probation, right? No.
Yes.
It's a whole thing. If you're on home arrest.
You're out and there's house arrest. So you got house arrest. You got to stay at the house. You can't do anything. Once you leave the house, the feds come in and get you. It's literally federal.
Okay.
And that's in the States.
Right.
Now, the reason why I thought that we had it is because we have a huge drunk driver thing where you got to breathe into the apparatus. And if you
in order to start your car.
Yeah, and if you don't do it properly and you breathe in and it actually sends a signal back to the people to say that you attempted to get in your car and drive while intoxicated. That report then goes into your file, and when you go up against to the judge again, the judge will pull up the report and be like, yo, on this date, you were drunk again trying to get in your car. So that's what I thought it was, but honestly, I didn't realize it's going on your ankle now. If you don't like it,
don't do the cry. Don't do the cry when you won't have to do the time, buddy.
I guess that's our new motto for our new oversight committee.
That's what the committee's gonna be like.
You're gonna come to us and be like, "Yo, Nigel, Nilo, you need to be on the committee." I'm gonna be like, "Absolutely, I'll be on the committee. Don't do a thing."
I will be on the committee.
Can you get back our catalytic converters for our vehicles, please?
They'll throw me off the committee so fast. We do this? They'll throw me off the committee. I can't. No. Okay. Do you want to talk about these kids assaulting this man?
So a bunch of people, 6 people are. The police are on the lookout for 6 people, not just kids, that attacked a 64-year-old man.
Oh. It wasn't just kids?
It wasn't just kids. I thought they were high school kids. They're definitely not high school kids.
Sorry, you guys. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, sorry, high schoolers. You got a bad rap.
Sorry. Yeah, meanwhile, the kids are out here being like...
It wasn't us.
Yeah, freedom and justice for all. That's how the children are. And every other generation is like, yeah. Freedom. Yeah, whatever.
Come on.
He or she, buddy.
The 64-year-old man was waiting for a train at the LRT station when he was approached by a man. and that man beat the snot out of him.
That's terrible.
And other people joined in.
But okay.
And beat the snot out of him, then robbed him for all his money and probably his ARC pass. And then
it feels like we need like security on the subway, like not on Highway 1, like on the train.
The funny thing is they have security on them, but they're too busy trying to figure out if you have a ticket or not.
I'm dealing with the people getting
here's and I probably told this story once before, and I'm gonna tell it one more time.
Let's do it.
I went. It was the July 1st, Canada Day, and I was there with my children and their mom, and we were heading to see the fireworks one year. And as I was going, there's a long list of people that go down. We take the LRT. There's hundreds of thousands of people, tens of thousands of people at least, that go down to the river to go see this thing. So we're on the LRT, and there's a lady there, and she's upset because people will not let her. She gets out of the elevator, and people won't let her get into the line because there's a line. And so she's trying to take her child in the stroller and get into the line. And as she's going and she's trying to move forward, people are like moving ahead. They're like, no, we got to get out of here. We're not making time for you. So I see this happening, and we're actually trying to get to another elevator to take us to the ground floor. Mm-hmm. And I see this happening, and I say, ma'am, please come in front of me. Come in front of me. I've got 4 children, and they're little at the time. And she comes in front, but then starts yelling at me for not letting her in. So I'm like, ma'am, why are you yelling? What is happening? Now she's dropping like F-bombs, and my children I'm like, ma'am, my children are here. Wow. Stop. Like, you're in line now. It's cool. You're good. You're almost outside. I know you were upset. It's fine. As she's getting more and more agitated, as she keeps going, we're in the line now. We're all in the line going to the same elevator. We get there, and peace officers come, and police are by the elevators. And the lady's just going off. She's just swearing. She's like, these people wouldn't let me in. And da da da. I'm like, ma'am, chill. Just chill. Like, we're almost out. We're almost out. And the peace officer comes over to me and says, sir, you need to calm down. You are escalating the situation. You need to stop yelling. And I'm there like, bro, I'm not saying anything. Like, I haven't said anything. Even to the lady, I wasn't agitated or anything. I was just like, lady, just calm down. Like, relax, okay? My kids are here. Like, relax. And immediately I got upset. Turned to the police officer. I said, this lady's been yelling and screaming and you turned to me in the line, the only black guy in this line, to tell me to calm down, and I didn't do anything. Why don't you do your job and make sure that we get on the elevator? We have kids. So he jumped back and was like, oh, and went to the elevator, let her in the elevator. And then we're waiting for the elevator to go. But she presses the wrong button, goes to the wrong floor. When it comes all the way back
She's
up.
Just standing in there like a dummy.
And the elevator opens, and now me and my children get on the same elevator. It's just us and this lady. And I turn and just stare at the lady like this. The entire ride up. And my children's mom was like, you don't have to be like that. Leave the lady alone. I'm like, leave this lady alone? This one right here? You got nothing to say now that it's just the 2 of us inside the elevator in close quarters? Got nothing to say, huh? And she didn't say anything. She was silent. And I always remember that because she got off silently and we all went and enjoyed the thing. But I was furious like almost the entire time, to the point where I don't really like fireworks. I don't really like fireworks. I still don't like fireworks. I'm just like, they're lights in the sky. They're okay.
Oh, I love fireworks.
I've gotten hit by the shrapnel of fireworks many, many times.
Wow, that's interesting.
But yeah, that's my story.
Okay, so sorry to the 64-year-old man that particular peace officer. I forgot that we had a whole other group called peace officers. I forgot about those ones.
Yeah, those guys are amazing things.
But I want to talk about, because we're talking about these police. Do you want to go to Edmonton going on strike, or do you want to go on these tunnels in the River Valley?
Let's talk about the tunnels.
So the Edmonton Police Service, many of them, by the way, because they're well staffed and well funded, found holes in the River Valley.
Caves.
It was a hole going into a cave.
Okay.
The hole was 5 feet deep, and the cave was 12. It was 5 feet by, and then the cave was 12 feet long. They called it tunnel, so which makes me think it's maybe like low overhead. And they said one man was living inside there. And I said when I read it, you think you found all of the caves? If you found one tunnel, that means there's many, many tunnels in the River Valley with people living inside of them. And to that I say universal basic income.
The fact that we have people living in tunnels like moles
in the ground, literal mole
in the ground, probably feeding off. I'm hoping they're eating those wild hogs that we've been trying to.
Not one. We haven't killed not one of those.
Not a single one. They've evaded capture.
Decimating the environment. For the first time, I heard somebody the other day talking about these wild hogs again, and I was like, "Oh, that's still a thing?" And they're like, "Yeah, they're vicious, man."
Where are they?
I've never seen one. God forbid. Knock on wood. I know for a fact that my dog would not protect me. Like, she's very aware of what she can handle and what she cannot handle. So, God forbid we find one. Yeah. But in any case,
leave Sunset alone. Sunset is a good dog.
She's a great dog.
And she would bark the mess out of from afar.
Yeah, from afar probably. But once that thing started advancing, you should have seen her versus the goat. As soon as the goat said, she was like, "I'm out of here.
We're done. If you're not coming with me, you're done too. Bye."
She was not about that goat life, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, an Alberta butcher dismembers his son's body. Did you want to talk about that one? Yeah.
The Alberta Butcher does not dismember his son's body, but his son's girlfriend's body. So,
oh no, that's even worse. I think.
So, nobody knows why this happened so far, but the person went missing, and they've been looking for her, only to find out that the butcher had not only butchered her, but butchered her up, chopped her up, chop.
He probably butchered her. I mean, allegedly, I'm just guessing, hearsay, objection, Your Honor. But he probably butchered her because his son killed her. Like, that seems like the obvious motive in this movie.
Nobody's talking about why this has happened, but he is evaded charges.
Evaded?
Yeah, there are no charges.
They're not charging him?
They did charge him. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. This is the reaction I was looking for.
What?
They know he did it. He has the skills and the knives to do the things.
Oh, that's what they call circumstantial evidence.
She's literally like the she's kind of a heavier lady.
Oh, okay.
Right? But he was able to make a nice little, sirloin out of her.
What you saying? Don't say that stuff. Actually, back in the day, I used to have an anatomy and physiology professor.
Yeah.
And that she used to do that all the time. She used to be like, and this is flank steak. You know when you're having flank steak? But she's talking about human anatomy. So she would Absolutely. Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, we don't do that anymore.
The butcher did it. No charges have been laid yet.
Allegedly.
He's
Circumstantial
evaded charges.
evidence.
He hasn't evaded capture. He's
Hearsay.
literally went in. They know it's him. They're like, yeah, okay.
They're like, well, technically, chopping up a body is not illegal. It's killing the body that's illegal.
I didn't know.
I don't know either.
Why did you chop up the body?
Chopping up a human body might be illegal.
It sounds illegal. It sounds
seems
very
like
illegal.
It seems like it should be.
Especially if the body was involved in a crime.
Yeah, I think it's like dismemberment of the blah 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 blah. Like it's got to be a thing. Also, Edmonton, the city of Edmonton, goes on strike.
They striking, people.
Allegedly.
They're striking.
From 12 o'clock tonight, right?
Yeah, so the news reports, and that's CTV and Global News, both reports that they tried to come to negotiation with the city of Edmonton as to how they were going to proceed. The city of Edmonton said they're not going to budge. They don't have what they need.
The money.
And
Talk to
they're not going to do it.
EPS, man.
And the union was like, let me tell you something. We know for a fact you have what we are asking for. So we're going on strike this Thursday. So what happened was they decided Monday night they're striking.
Oh, they already decided.
Yeah, they decided already. They're striking.
Mm-hmm.
They put a list of the departments that will be affected directly right away.
Okay. The police are not on that list, in case you wondered.
The police are not on the list. But the people who are on the list are as follows. First of all, Edmonton Public Libraries. Every library will be shut down.
May I just say, suggestion that we have the police, being that they're well-staffed, fill into some of these roles.
As librarians.
Librarians, custodians. Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, so we have the librarians. Sorry, I missed it. Anyways, librarians, all public permitting office, so people who are doing inspections. Mm-hmm. They're also doing it, and 311 operators.
The police could easily do that.
Yeah. And all city-operated rec centers.
Oh, they could easily do that. They'd be out there playing basketball with the children all the time.
Yeah. The thing I found out the other day is that if a police officer is in uniform, he has to have the full uniform on, which also includes his sidearm. He has to have it on. So I was wondering that because at a lot of the things that I was doing, the police were present and doing speeches, but they'd have their sidearm on them, and I was like, "Why do you need your sidearm? We're just doing speeches." But that's the rule, and it's part of their uniform.
They should have a non-sidearm uniform.
Yeah.
They have.
I think at the Aphrodisiac Market, we had a soccer game, and police came in biker shorts, and their sidearms were on them, and they played with the sidearms. Those things were like bouncing around.
I think that was Africa Day celebration.
Was it that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Year one, obviously. America. Are we gonna talk about the counterfeits?
America.
The Canadua. So take a close look if you are one of the lucky people who still carries cash and carries enough cash to have a red $50 bill in your pocket. Who's the guy on the 50? I want to say Grant, but I feel like that might be the American 50.
I think you're pretty close. I think it's yeah, I think you might be right. It might be Grant.
Is it Grant?
You might be right.
Okay, I feel like that might be the American one. It's absolutely not Grant. Grant is on the American 50, I think. Grant.
It's William Lyon Mackenzie King.
Okay. He looks a little like Philip Seymour Hoffman. Just a little bit. But these counterfeit 50s, luckily, you'll be able to pick them out because instead of Canada. It's Canadua. So make sure you're checking to make sure that your country is spelled correctly on your 50s.
And the person on the front is not William Lionel King.
It's not?
Not on the counterfeits.
Oh.
I think it's the guy who
It's Philip
actually.
Seymour Hoffman. It's probably Philip Seymour Hoffman because they look
a completely
strikingly
different guy.
similar is what I'm trying to say.
So it's not the guy on there. Make sure you check your 50s.
R.I.P. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
R.I.P.
to that man.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So if you have $50 bills, please don't.
Don't forget to check.
Just don't give it to nobody. Don't do nothing. Put it in the bank.
The other day I went to pay with a $100 bill and the person said, we're not taking $100 bills at this time. And I was like, what time do you take it at?
Listen,
is it a in the darkness type of a thing?
I've had to tell people who are paying me to not pay me in anything over $100, anything over $50.
Yeah.
Because for us, especially those of us who belong in the Black Multiverse, who are born in the Black Multiverse,
yeah,
those of us who are listening that are definitely part Black Multiverse and Tachions, you guys know. If you don't know yet, it is harder for us to spend money that is actually tender.
Cash tender money.
It's actual tender.
Yeah.
It is harder for us to spend $100 bill anywhere in the city.
It's true.
More people will tell us no. Even banks. I saw a lady double check, triple check, and then ask for ID for $100 bill. It's crazy.
Yeah. America, the Congress just voted to ban TikTok, and the vote wasn't even close. I think there was like maybe 65 no's and 100 and whatever else. I think it's 213 total. So the rest of the people voted yes, ban that talk. So what they're talking about doing, Nancy Pelosi said it's not a ban. Everybody's like, it's not a ban. Nancy Pelosi says, we want a tic-tac-toe.
What?
So TikTok can win. I said, this lady, these old people need to get out of Congress.
You put them there. Whoever put them there. You people who put them there.
Voting for
you
these
people who put them there. Stop it.
Bro.
Stop it. All my American people who watch the show, stop.
These old people got to get out of there. So what they're going to do is in 6 months, it goes to the Senate, obviously. If the Senate votes yes, then what TikTok has to do essentially is the Chinese part of TikTok, the entity that owns shares in TikTok that is Chinese, they have to sell their share of their shares to an American company in order for TikTok to continue being able to run, which I think is insane. Additionally, it's gross, right?
It's going to be interesting.
It sets what they call in the legal world precedents, which a couch lawyer who has watched several seasons of Law and Order, and Suits, understand.
And the Lincoln lawyer.
And the Lincoln lawyer,
by the way.
Also. So, 3-time graduate from TV show. Several seasons of the Lincoln
show law.
Several seasons of the Lincoln Lawyer, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it sets precedent so that the American government will actually be able to deem any app foreign owned or controlled by foreign interests, whether it is a domestic app or not, and then they will essentially be able to block it, shut it down, what have you. Also, it stands to make a note or a mention that TikTok is very pro-Palestinian in terms of the content that's on TikTok
Sure.
and the things that are being shared by TikTok, by people on TikTok. So a lot of people are saying that this TikTok ban actually has to do with that, controlling that portion of it, because there's kind of this awakening that's happening in any case.
Wow.
I think Joe Biden gave away his last vestige of hope of getting any votes from these kids. Because what'll happen is just people just won't vote.
I'm sorry. I've watched Joe Biden fall more times than I wanted to admit.
Quite
I'm
literally,
like, listen,
to be honest with you. That guy trips all the time.
like it is scary. Like every trip, I'm like, oh, there it is, right there.
But apparently he wasn't even supposed to run again. Kamala was supposed to run the second time.
Here comes Kamala.
But whatever to all of them. Good luck.
Good luck.
I hope that guy doesn't get in there again.
Oof.
This is a lot of topics, man. We got to wrap it up. I want to talk about the perm boxes.
Do we have any more?
Yeah, we still have 2 things.
Okay,
but
let's go.
We can do it still? Okay, we'll go. I'm going to scrap Oscar winners. There were lots of Oscar winners. I do not know what they are. I have to go to my
it's more of a screen thing.
And check. Oh, Oscars? Okay. The last thing is the girls on the perm boxes came out onto Twitter, aka X, came out and said, shocking news, breaking news, they did not perm their hair. Wow. So they said they used flat irons, they used blowouts, to make it sleek, they used hot combs, all of that stuff, but they did not perm their hair. So false advertising? I feel like that's got to be a lawsuit, bro.
What?
Because that lady on the front, like, as a little black girl who engaged in perms, that little girl is who you were trying to go. Their stuff was always fresh and fly and slayed and laid. And for many of us, that is when we saw black girls. Like, that's a black girl we saw regularly. And we were never able to accomplish that because we were set up from the beginning. I'm not sure
if you have a case. You know, as a TV lawyer myself, I don't know if you have a case because the box itself did not state that you would look like these girls.
I know, but like, how are you gonna do that, man?
Yo, McDonald's, I've said this many times. McDonald's has a picture of the Big Mac. You order the Big Mac, it looks squished flat. It's off to the side. It's sloppy. Not enough onions, not enough lettuce. It doesn't look like anything's fresh. But when you look at the picture, you order it because the picture reminds you of something that should look like that. Like your brain, while you're chewing on a Big Mac, is picturing the picture of the Big Mac, even though the thing doesn't look like the Big Mac. And that's how it is. Marketing is marketing. It's a scam. It's a big scam.
All right, that is all we have.
That's all we got
for the scroll. Let us move quickly into the
screen. Now,
let us move on.
The screen is this week on my screen. I watched the live action version of The Last Airbender. And I gotta say, it was amazing for me.
Oh.
And the reason why it was amazing is, yeah. Some of the people don't look like some of the cartoon, but you're literally trying to make a real person look like a cartoon. So you're coming as close. Let's start with the first thing, fashion. The actual clothing that they're wearing in the cartoon, somebody has mimicked the clothes down to the buttons and how many buttons are on each thing.
The costume is where they did it.
Their costume is like fantastic. Their hair also fantastic. And then here's one episode. It's my favorite episode of the cartoon version of The Last Airbender. Uncle Iroh from the Fire Nation. He's in the Earth Kingdom and he's remembering his son. And he has a song that goes, Hey, little soldier boy, coming home to war. So this song, there's a kid crying, and he sings the song and plays this little guitar. And at the end of it, he goes to a tree where his actual son died in the war,
Oh no.
and he's crying, and it made me cry when I was watching the cartoon originally. Fast forward, we get to the last Airbender, the live action, and they're doing this scene now where he's remembering his son. But instead of doing the guitar thing with the little boy, they're just playing the music in the background with no words. Like, he's not saying anything. He's not even singing, but you can hear the music, and there's violins, and it crescendos into this huge, like, hey, little son. And it's like violins coming in. It was absolutely homage to the song, to the thing. I was like, yo, whoever picked the people to do the music, very good job. Congratulations. You have won me over for life on this. Amazing. Even some of the funnier songs going into Earth Kingdom, they even found people to like play the actual instruments and sound just like the cartoon. It's fantastic. So, Last Airbender, I'm going to give it 10 black fists out of 10. It's fantastic.
Okay. I'm still skipping the Oscars, but I am going to.
Go ahead.
My screen is a thing that my client was actually watching today.
Okay.
It's a movie with Tracy Ellis Ross.
Okay.
I think it's a Netflixy thing. It's called Cold Copy, I think it's called.
Cold Copy.
Yeah. Cold Copy, yep. Tracy Ellis Ross is in there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a girl in there. It won at the Tribeca Film Festival, I guess. There's a girl in there who has an old face, but she's young, I guess.
Okay.
She looks old and stressed out in there.
She got an elder face.
She definitely has an elder face. Deep lines. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 35%. IMDb says 5.4 out of 10. I have to say, in watching it, it was a good movie. I didn't like the ending. And I didn't like the main character, which is also why it probably got 3. Like, it's mid. Like, it's a very mid movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, what? She said that? She did that? Oh my God. But the problem is that the character does so much horrible things throughout. Yeah. Not horrible, but like, she's not a good person. On her own, she's not a good person. But then she ends up getting manipulated as well. So she ends up getting her get back against the person who manipulated her. But I feel like she doesn't get hers. You know what I mean? I feel like the main character doesn't get hers. And, we're all here amongst family. It's basic white people stuff. It's undermining. Somebody gives her their thing to hand in because they're nervous and she throws it away. It's like, it's typical undermining stuff. But
wow.
If you I would say I would watch it as a waste time movie,
Okay.
You need something on in the background or whatever. But yeah, Tracy Ellis Ross was absolutely phenomenal in there, though. I do have to say that. She's really incredible.
Grade A actor.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So that's what I say.
Okay.
And what are you listening to?
I am listening to, let me tell you something right now, the prodigy of Anderson .Paak, which is Ray Khalil. I am on Ray Khalil. Now, Ray Khalil is a young person. I don't know how they identify, but they are there making music, and it is awesome music. It is motivational. It has the violins in there. It picks up live music, and the person is also singing and rapping, and it's fantastic. The whole thing is fun with Anderson .Paak playing the drums to the whole thing, which is phenomenal, of course.
Amazing.
Yourself?
I'm listening to Ratchet Lady Hip Hop as always.
Okay.
I felt that I was too comfortable hearing men say "suck my D," but not comfortable enough when women were saying "suck my P." So, just wanting to clear out that patriarchy out my system. So, rip me out the plastic yam, acting brand new.
Okay.
If you know, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I've been listening to.
Okay.
And that brings us to the end of this episode. We just
I think we need a word.
A word. I'm just going to say we just need a word.
Yeah.
And who's our word? It's you?
It's you.
It's
me.
It's
definitely you.
Okay. Here's my word because it's springtime.
Springtime.
We spent a lot of the winter thinking and mulling and taking care of ourselves. Now, as we approach spring, and I know it's spring because the magpies make this cute little squeaky purring sound in the springtime. In any case, so as we're now approaching the springtime, it is all about letting go and starting fresh. When I say letting go, there are times where we have experienced a trauma, we've experienced something, and that trauma tends to stay with us. In some cases, it becomes part of our personalities, it becomes part of who we are. So now it is actually about letting go of those traumas, allowing yourself to exist without the definition of that trauma, and planting new seeds and new intentions for the things that you want out of your life, unbridled, unhindered by what may have happened in the past. So fresh start, but right now it's all about letting go and using that stuff as compost to grow the new things that are coming. That's it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Not bad. Spring solstice
Coming right up. So now
this is our...
I don't want it to fall over. And I feel like I should turn it off before the people get blinded.
This is our robot.
Yeah, there he is. Or she.
There they are.
I might paint them still. Maybe I might paint their suit because it's very blaringly white on the screen. But yeah, let us know. Okay, big shout out to Nikki Bellaza de Dios.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, new follower.
Nice.
Welcome.
Nice,
yeah. So this is our new co-host here, who's here for vibes. Which now that it's not projecting, wow, it really made a bigger difference than I realized. Actually, it was pretty cool. So. Yep. Let us know what you think. What should we name this person here? And it has to be a name that's good, that could go either way, I think. Yeah. That's all we have, you guys. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. We are available on YouTube. You can definitely check us out there. And we will see you again next week. Same back time, same bat channel, because we be doing this.
We be doing it.
Good night, everybody.
We be doing it. We be doing it. Hey.